Hello, greetings. This is Gilles Mancian. I wanted to come and say hello. Wish you a good day. I'm going to pull a few cards for the day to see what maybe the highest wisdom for us today is healer. It's about the healer. It's about healing. It's about wholeness. It's about completion. It's about understanding understanding how to bring situation to completion. What we need to understand is effort. What kind of effort do we need to produce to get to the result we seek to obtain? Because effort is one of the six magic wisdom keys that the Buddha revealed. There is six of those transcendental virtues. Is the perfection of patience, the perfection of virtue, the perfection of charity, the perfection of meditative contemplation, and the perfection of energetic action, and the perfection of supreme wisdom. So those are tools that were given to us. We have to work on those things. Our virtue is important to keep on, not to have judgment over ourselves either. For what we have to do is our destiny. We have to fulfill whatever plans we made before we came here in order to find total fulfillment, total joy. And the outcome is achievement. So we will be able to achieve what we need, what we came here to achieve. It is we're getting close to the point of completion. For now, we're moving towards this new moon in Libra, which should be a really pleasant moon. Then it will be kind of powerful. I do feel like the 10-10 maybe there may be some great energies that come through this 10-10 portal. For 10-10 is we pass through the 9-9 portal, and the 10-10 is a renewal. We completed the 6th cycle, the 9th cycle, which is the ending cycle. Then we'll have this full moon in Taurus, which should be wonderful. And then the new moon in Leo and the 11-11 Stargate. So that then Venus is going to go retrograde for 40 days and 40 nights. It's going to all the way go back deep into the Libra constellation to touch on that justice, because there are still things that are bothering us in terms of society, and things are coming up. So it's this planet of Venus, which is love, money, likes and dislikes, all kinds of. It's a very powerful planet. Will come back into the constellation of Libra, which is justice, balance, equilibrium, to assist in the transformation. He will be opposing Uranus, which will, and then Pluto is going to make a square to Mercury, so we're going to be called to look into self-care, transformation, healing all kinds of traumas from the past, and so it is important to do that. The card for the day from the Archangels is the 10 of Raphael. It says, your life is made of love and grace, harmonious familial relationship, looking for happiness. So as we look at what we seek, we will find. So it is happiness is always the best thing to seek. What we need to, from the Akash is today is to face our fear in order to be stronger. The fear is an illusion that is made real by our beliefs. It is a false reality that appears real. So it is important to understand that. For there's been many things that have been too hard to handle within ourselves, certain sensitive points that are now coming up for release. And so it is important not to be judgmental, for we have there is this ego mind that's always in the critical function. In many sense, we get to assume the responsibilities of our life. If anything doesn't work, it's just a matter of changing it. And this ego mind, in many ways, can trap us in illusions. It is like for those who I recommend to look into the cavern of Plato. It is an allegory that explains that all that we believe to be real is that they're just shadows on the wall, and then humankind attributes values and relationship in hierarchical values of those shadows, but they're nothing but shadows, and so. The Archangel Michael, I wanted to say, also came, and we greet him, we thank him, and we ask him to participate in this in our life, and participation in all our projects. For archangels are always welcome in our life. We have to give them the permission. It is important to call on them regularly to anchor those frequencies. And he came to remind us that we're going to be able, with this 10-10 portal, to discover a new level of what is divine will. What is divine love? What is divine intelligence? Because so in many sense we'll be able to have a better understanding of many things that were not really clear in the past, and the questioning is why God does all that He does. And God is this, makes the galaxies, the stars, the planets, the trees, but all humans too, and we're part of it. You can never dissociate yourself from the one. Once you become aware, you know that the only thing that is true inside of you is God, and you existing within God, and that's the only thing. Everybody else is of course in a relative reality that is somewhat real if they connect to the reality of their eternal nature, but otherwise it is a temporal, what you might call temporal circumstances, and everything is not. So it's about resting within our higher self and learning to. For me, it's not easy to decipher sometimes between the messages of my soul family, of my guides. I can pretty much recognize, but of my I am presence or my some of the other spirits, it's becoming more clear as we practice. And I was wondering about this question in quantum reality. We as someone who has faith and know that God is so if God is, there are things that are happening beyond my level of consciousness. I cannot feel that whatever I'm experiencing now, whatever I know now, is the ultimate absolute truth. So therefore, I have to recognize there are higher consciousness. But there is no way to prove that anything exists outside of consciousness, because as soon as we involve ourselves in trying to prove that, it becomes part of our consciousness. Therefore, that's just a kind of subtle question. Because in truth, all things are already there. We already are eternal, divine, and finite being. But this truth has been hidden until we are ready to discover that. So it is a work that we are doing. I wanted to because we are quantum singularities in essence. Our physical body is just a manifestation of that quantum singularity. Eventually, we want to move outside of that physical matrix to move into a quantum field and connect to the bioplasmic energy field that was the old that can benefit from all the assistance of all living entities, such as the crystals of Atlantis and all those energies. There will be there will be new understanding that will be revealed, I'm sure, within the very short time about the scientific understanding in physics and chemistry. It will be like equations that will clarify the relationship between linear physics, quantum physics, and cosmic physics, because they're all different because of the nature of those of our perceptions. But it's something we're working on. I wanted to talk about this painting behind me. Actually it's part of two paintings, and it's about the judgment day, what we call judgment day. There will be a time where God is gonna intervene, so that only some will pass, and the earth will move into this golden age and this platinum age, and then those who are not ready will be sent to another planet where they're going to continue to evolve. Then they will be reintegrated in 1,000 years, but at some point there will be this judgment, and so this was kind of a prophetic paintings. It's a series of paintings from 1989. I painted them. I was living in Hollywood, in Los Angeles. And it says that, yes, it's in French, but the assembly of the selection. It is the assembly of the dragon cloud. It the dragon symbolizes what's in motion, and the cloud symbolizes what's in perpetual change. The assembly of the dragon cloud is correspond to change that are gonna come and gonna make a great change on all over the earth, so that may come the assembly of the elected, so that a part of humanity, a part of humanity can be selected, so that may come the assembly of the elected, and then after this because it's like a selection, whoever's ready will pass. It's no need to be worried about anyone, God is in charge, so it's like and then will come this time of jubilee, this kind of freedom, the time of liberation, and then will come the assembly of the elected, which is the assembly of the flower dragon. The dragon still symbolizes what's in movement, in motion, and the flower symbolizes estival joy, perfection, and quintessence, which is like that, great the flowers. So and this assembly of the dragon flower correspond to the reunion in total joy of all transcendental beings, all immortals, and all Buddhas, under the benediction of the Supreme Being's origin of all beings and all things. So it is the announce of this coming time where we'll all reconnect to our eternal, immortal nature. And so from there, we'll see whatever comes up from the heart, we'll follow that direction. Well, I hope this message was interesting for you. I wish you a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later. Thank you. Namaste.